It's a wonderful delight to be here tonight to celebrate with all of you. Congratulations to all the award winners and all the participants. There are so many great success stories that will be recognized, and many, many, many more that won't, but they're also amazing. As Abraham Lincoln once said, "Don't worry when you are not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition." And for the several of you that I've gotten to know through this process, there are so many of you that are worthy of that recognition. The company that I have a privilege to work for, ABM, has a long history with the Boys and Girls Club. Our company began in 1909 with a man, a bucket, and a rag as a window washing company. It's now generating revenue of almost $5 billion a year. It's a public company on a New York Stock Exchange and employs about 110,000 employees, including an awful lot in this beautiful city of New York. Theodore Ted Rosenberg, who passed away peacefully at 101 years old, he was a director on our company until he was 100. He was the son of that man with the bucket. Ted was our chief executive officer for a number of years. He was a great but very quiet philanthropist to many charities. The one closest to his heart was the Boys and Girls Club of San Francisco, the Columbia Park unit. He was a lifelong member since the age of 10. So if you want to do the math in public, he was a member for 91 years. You might have seen ABM on the TV show Undercover Boss in 2010. Our current chief executive officer the last 15 years played the starring role. One of the things he hoped would become clear out of that episode was his wish that all employees would feel good about what they do, take pride in their work. He's a big believer in not focusing on what you have or what you don't have, but what you do with what you are given, be it talents, tragedies, trust, or drive, all done with integrity. That's so much about what we're about here tonight. No odds or barriers are too big if you believe and persist. While my boss of 7+ years did not get an Emmy for his performance in The Undercover Boss, although I personally think he deserved it, I still have to work a few more years. A lot more. I have 7 kids. I got to work a lot of years. He did make many of our employees, partners, customers, and families proud of what ABM stands for. Another thing Abraham Lincoln said was, if you want to test a man's, or he probably would have said a woman's character today, give him or her power. If you want to test a person's character, give them power. I've seen the undercover boss test it many times, and he always strives to do what's right, no matter what the odds are, no matter what others are saying, and not for personal gain. He does not have a greedy bone in his body. Sometimes I wish he had a little bit more, but just for the sake of his team, of course. Outside of work, he's very involved with his family and youth. One of his clear passions is soccer, or as he calls it, football. With the upcoming World Cup, we will be able to judge his mood on how the Danish national team makes it to the tournament. Oh, wait, they didn't make it. Sorry, I should have crossed that off there. I'd like to thank you all for being here, including his bride, Naya, daughters, Alexandra and Tanya, son, Thomas, and many friends. Ladies and gentlemen, a true Danish-American success story, my favorite boss, an undercover boss, and ABM's chief executive officer. Please join me in welcome Henrik Slipsager.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, with my last name, I'm very happy that Michelle doesn't have to pronounce it. Was it Michelle Jones? No. Anyway, Jim, you did okay. Thanks, Jim, for the introduction. It was very nice. First of all, I want to thank the Madison Square Boys and Girls Club for the recognition. I'm very proud today. And Jim was the one who first introduced the Madison Square Boys and Girls Club to me. He enthusiastically described the mission and vision of the club, and I decided to involve myself in this project. For me, it all started with the final of this year's competition of being recognized to represent Madison Square Boys and Girls Club as Person of the Year. At the end of the competition, I had the pleasure of meeting Husani, Nikisha, Angel, and Luz. I was absolutely blown away by what I experienced during my meetings with the 4 finalists. All 4 finalists was very impressive, and it was difficult for me to comprehend and understand the challenges they had all gone through in their lives. Now they were standing in front of me, 4 extremely confident young adults with a great future in front of them. It was amazing to me. I'm so happy that I had an emergency meeting that day because there was a vote coming up right after about who of the 4 should we pick. I wasn't concerned about the one I was going to pick. I was more concerned about the 3 others. And I think one of them was taller than me. So I ran out, and we know now by that Luz, who had our vote, won the New York State competition. So congratulations, Luz. Give her a 5. Unbelievable job. But I can tell you, all of you, that each of these finalists could have won the state as well. That's how impressive they all are. They were very impressive. The fact that Madison Boys and Girls Club have something to do with supporting these young folks should make anyone associated with the club extremely proud. I myself am very humble and proud to be recognized today by this organization, knowing what you have done to support young children and teenagers that go through very difficult times in their youth. I would also like to recognize Joe for taking the time to take me out to one of the clubs in the Bronx. This organization truly benefits from individuals like Joe, whose enthusiasm, and you can feel his heart, helps create a very warm environment for many children and teenagers. It was great to see Joe. I'm really impressed. Last, I want to really thank my colleagues, business associates, my family, and friends who are here tonight supporting this great cause. Thanks for being here, and thanks for supporting it. Thank you. And he's 180 pounds, I'm 160 pounds.